Why would the police re-victimize a victim?
Well, I know it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. Yeah. Like, the guy's defending the store. You know, he's defending his job, making sure he doesn't want to get robbed, defending himself, doing the right thing. And the cops turn around and charge him for it? Nah.
Yeah,
he's the victim.
You stand in solidarity with the clerk?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. He shouldn't have been charged. We should have the right to defend ourselves in these situations.
I think our self-defense laws in Canada are horrible. You know, when somebody comes at you with a weapon, you know, you should be able to go at them with equal force, I believe.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Peterborough, Ontario. And folks, we have returned to quite literally the scene of the crime. You see, at this Circle K store here on King Street, earlier this month, a thug armed with a baseball bat came in to rob this convenience store, and he allegedly used the baseball bat on the clerk. His name is Deja, and he was working the shift that night. And if you can imagine, a scuffle ensued. Allegedly, Mr. Kalia was struck by the baseball bat, but in the process of the struggle, he managed to disarm the would-be thief and use his own weapon against him. But get a load of this. For defending perhaps his life, Peterborough police charged Mr. Kalia with assault. I mean, if you feel like we do, this is absolutely egregious. I mean, what was he supposed to do? Just stand there, have his head caved in? I guess later we could have some vigil with candles and teddy bears and mourn him. But yeah, for having the temerity to defend himself, he was charged with assault. He spent a night in jail. Now, here's the thing. Last week, I reached out to the clerk at the Circle K here, very nice gentleman, and he said that all media queries are going through Circle K's media relations person and the district manager. I left my name and number and the other information. I have yet to hear back. I think they're not going to comment on this. They're going to play the old, it's before the courts, we have nothing to say. But I wonder what other people have to say about this, what I think is a grotesque miscarriage of justice. A scuffle ensued. The clerk got the bat, used it on the robber. Now the clerk has been charged with assault by the Peterborough police. What do you think about that?
I think it's terrible. I think our self-defense laws in Canada are horrible. You know, I don't know the full story if, you know, the guy had already decided to run out, but whatever it be, you know, when somebody comes at you with a weapon, you know, you should be able to go at them with equal force. I believe that's what it is here anyways.
Had that been you behind the counter, what would you have done? I mean, would you just stand there and...
I mean, I think the moment the guy leaves the bat and runs away and flees the situation, then at that point, by continuing to chase after and attack him afterwards, at that point, I can see where the police have a case and where they might be right that he shouldn't have continued it.
Defending himself, doing the right thing, and the cops turn around and charge him for it? Nah.
Yeah,
he's the victim. The other guy that was robbing the place, he's the one that should be going to fucking jail.
It was a mistake by the clerk.
Oh, do you think so?
I do believe it was, yes.
Oh, okay.
He's not a security guard. He shouldn't have interfered. They should have a security guard in the store.
But be that as it may...
No, they should have a security. I live in this neighborhood. They should have a security guard in this store.
Is this a rough neighborhood, sir?
High drug-used area.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, they should have a security guard. They shouldn't be leaving it up to the employees to guard their property.
What was he supposed to do? Just stand there and become the next homicide victim?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what's expected, you know. In Canada, you know, we don't have any sort of, you know, self-defense here at all.
Well, you gotta defend yourself.
Exactly.
You know, all these fucking drive-by shootings and stabbings the last couple of years in Peterborough alone, this alarm bell's going off, man. Makes me wanna get up and pack up all my get as much money together, get on a fucking Greyhound bus, and get the fuck out of here.
You stand in solidarity with the clerk?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. He shouldn't have been charged. We should have the right to defend ourselves in these situations. And it's just been completely you're supposed to sit there and wait for cops that aren't going to come.
He made a mistake by leaving the store. And if there was a security guard, he wouldn't even have left the counter.
Okay.
Right? It wasn't his job to interfere. Do you understand that?
Do you feel that by charging him, the Peterborough police are basically re-victimizing the victim?
You know what? I don't know about all that, but all I can say is, it's a shame what happened, and it's too bad that the individual is being charged.
Got you. One last question, a hypothetical one. If you were a police officer on this case, would you have charged the clerk, sir?
If that's your job to do it, then it's your job to do it. I mean, it would feel bad to charge him, I think, but I can understand why they would do it.
Now, folks, I got to tell you, I am experiencing a profound sense of deja vu when it comes to law enforcement charging the victim of a crime. Some 11 years ago, when I was with the Sun News Network, I did a similar story about a restaurateur who was defending himself and his business. And yeah, guess what? The Toronto Police Service actually charged him. Here, check out this video. You're not going to believe it. You may have heard about the case of Naveen Polapati. He's the Toronto restaurateur that has been victimized by thieves breaking into his restaurant, his car, several times. But the last time a thief came along to victimize Mr. Polapati, he fought back. Using a broomstick and some spices, he confronted the thief and called the police. But get a load of this. Police officers here at 14 Division, not only did they let the thief go, they charged Mr. Polapati with assault and using a nauseous substance. Mr. Polapati, you see, has been nicknamed the Spice Man because it was his use of spice that thwarted the bandit in the first place. In any event, if there are any passers-by that want to weigh in on this, we're all ears to hear what they have to say. I know the Peterborough Police have been deluged with calls and social media posts from Canadians who are absolutely outraged about that. We'll be paying a visit to the Peterborough Police headquarters to see if the chief wants to come on camera. Now, folks, since we were in the area, we thought we'd drop by Peterborough Police headquarters. Unfortunately, neither Peterborough Police Chief Stu Betts nor the media relations officer is here right now. But I can tell you this, last week, after being deluged by angry Canadians reading about this story, Chief Betts issued the following statement on X. It reads, quote, "Public statement. I would not normally release a message of this kind, but the commentary that has taken place following our media release today in relation to a store clerk also being charged following an attempted robbery is unfair to the men and women of my organization. They are doing great work in our community. Yes, this case is unusual, but in a world where security cameras are everywhere, do you really think we would not have seized and reviewed the footage as part of the investigation and prior to laying charges? If you follow anything in the media, you will know that I cannot speak to the particulars of this case because it is before the court. But if you have a desire to know what has led to the charges, follow the case in court. Allow the facts of the case to guide your commentary and opinion, not your reaction to a headline. I have been chief of the Peterborough Police Service for exactly 365 days, 1 year today, and those who follow me and or live in our community know that I am vocal about public safety, accountability, and transparency, all in an effort to maintain public trust and confidence. I have every confidence in my staff. You may not like the police, you may not like my police organization in particular. I can't change or comment on what you believe may or may not have been done in the past. I wasn't a part of the past, I am the present. This is not about politics. Politics have nothing to do with the facts. This is not about race, as some have suggested. This is not about the perception that criminals go free while victims of crime are penalized. This is about the law. I encourage you to stop and think about things before determining what you think has happened or that an injustice has taken place, because I'm quite confident that not one person who has made a comment about this case has seen the video or has access to the actual facts, end quote. Well, there you have it, folks. You know, the way I read that statement, and it's an astonishing statement for many reasons, and perhaps for the wrong reasons, but the way I read it is the chief is almost implying that the clerk was guilty. If anything, at best, I think Chief Betts has prejudiced the case. Can this clerk get a fair trial now based on what the chief of police has to say? Well, my plea to you now is this. We really want to hear from Mr. Kalia. We want to hear his story, and we want to offer to crowdfund his legal fees, which might be massive, as he goes to court to, I guess, argue his innocence. We hate that if you know Mr. Kalia, if you have access to his contact information and can send him this video, please tell him to get in touch with us. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, I know you love it when Rebel News tells the other side of the story, but unlike the so-called legacy media, we don't accept a nickel of government funding from the black-faced liberals. We count on you. Please, if you can, go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation.